Beep, 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 beep. All that's new and approved from the Jester Newsbum. What have I got for you today? I say those wonderful words that bring you running. The Tavistock and Mermaids. God, no. It's the terrible twosome once again raising their ugly head, but with a rather interesting lesson to be learned for all and sundry involved in pushing bollocks. Right? Here's the heading. Links for the Dubries. Buy me a coffee. Warrior Teacher. Yeah, right. Tavistock Gender Clinic threatened with court action by watchdog. Superb! This comes from Hayley Dixon, special correspondent, on the 30th of April for the Telegraph. The NHS Trust has until May 5th, the Tavistock has until May 5th, to provide a new response to parents' FOI request, or ICO, which is the Information Commissioner's Office, who sort of, who watches the Watchmen. There's some of that going on there. ICO could write to High Court. Okay, so this is absolutely indicative of believers in critical social justice, right? Liars. Right, here we go. Right, so this is what we're talking about. The NHS and the Tavistock Gender Clinic has been threatened with court action by the information regulator after failing to reveal its relationship with mermaids. You see? Lie down with dogs, you're going to get fleas, right? The Trust claimed in response to a Freedom of Information request from a parent that it does not hold emails or minutes of meetings between staff and the controversial charity, which has been accused of putting pressure on staff to transition children. We need that paragraph again for what happens later, right? The Trust claimed in response to Freedom of Information request from a parent, it doesn't hold the emails, it's saying, or minutes between staff and the controversial charity. So they've never had any emails or minutes or meetings with mermaids at all. They don't hold it, right? Mermaids, the matter was referred to the Information Commissioner's Office. I imagine it was. The ICO, please look at this because these people are lying, right? Okay? Which has now ruled that on balance of probabilities, the Trust does have the relevant emails. Do you think? They started lying. This is what they do. You've got to remember, with an ideologue, they never let their ideology go. So no matter how much you push them, and no matter how much they are culpable, no matter how much they are actually involved in whatever nefarious thing it is, and we know what the Tavistock's been involved in, they will lie to the bitter end. To the bitter end. Right? Spanish Inquisition understood this. So did MacArthur. Are you now? Have you ever been a member of the Communist Party? Now we just do it. The Information Commission Officer goes, yeah, you're done. Right, Mermaids had previously accidentally published emails between Susie Green, then chief executive of the charity, and some of the Tavistock staff. Right, which the data breach led the ICO to fine the charity 25 grand, right? So we already know they exist, and the Tavistocks denied they've got them. It's just surreal, isn't it? Lie after lie after lie after lie. That's what it's always been. Isn't it, Susie Green? Lie after lie after lie after lie. The Tavistock and Portman NHS Foundation Trust has until the end of this week to conduct fresh searches and provide a new response, or the ICO could write to the High Court and the issue may be dealt with as a contempt of court. Now that's nothing small, folks. Contempt of court. That's brilliant, isn't it? Up the court. Could be contempt of court. If found guilty of contempt, the Trust could face a fine, a big one. It comes after concerns are raised within the Trust that the release of information under FOI laws was effectively being blocked because of the potential reputational impact. They still think they've got a reputation. They still think they've got a reputation to protect. The word Tavistock is now absolutely commensurate with the idea of child butchery. And you think you've got a reputation to protect. You truly are living in cloud cuckoo land, you know that? The trans clinic is due to close after concerns were raised about its treatment, and an independent review found it was not a safe and viable option. And you think you've got a reputation. The parent who placed the FOI told the Telegraph that it's important the truth of the relationship with mermaids is revealed so that lessons can be learnt. What concerns me is the way the NHS policy making can be influenced by a special interest group. There should be a clean break, and the Tavistock should disclose whatever they have, they said. You've got to understand, there are many of these activists working within the NHS, either as consultants or in the main areas. The NHS is completely drunk the Kool-Aid on this, and nothing short of a massive public intervention and a massive governmental intervention is going to stop them from continuing. Nothing short. You know, the public sector equality duty states pretty clearly what we're supposed to do. It is very good at doing so. And like Kemi says, the Equality Act is a shield, not a sword. You know, these people need to be dealt with, and they need to be dealt with very quickly. So we're seeing this now. We're seeing the reveal, the curtains being pulled back, and the guy, you know, he's there. He's there. Behind the curtain. We're starting to see who's who. We're starting to see where it's coming from. We'll be able to get down to names shortly. Once you've got names, you can start finding stuff and we can start getting them out then. NHS trusts have a very powerful self-protective reflex, but the NHS has a duty of candour, and that should be respected. Mermaids' influence on the Tavistock, never forget the influence of these people. Mermaids' influence on the Tavistock was cited by some whistleblowers as one of the reasons why it lost its way, with claims that activists put pressure on clinicians to affirm children's beliefs that they were trans and to prescribe potentially life-altering drugs, which they did. The Charity Commission is currently carrying out a statutory inquiry into Mermaids amid concerns over its governance and management. It was to do with safeguarding as well, if I remember, wasn't it? Didn't you have some kind of wibbling twat on the board you shouldn't have had? What was his name now? Oh, the king is in the altogether. He's all together. He's all together. He's all together as naked as the day that he was born. Glorious. All this. Glorious. Glorious. Right, so the Tavistock originally refused to provide the information under a section of the law which allows them to deny requests which have the potential to cause a disproportionate or unjustified level of disruption, irritation, or distress. But when the ICO asked them to justify that refusal, the Trust withdrew it and said instead that following an extensive search of emails, the Trust does not hold the requested information. That's despite the fact at the beginning, you remember when I read it twice? Lies. See, these people lie. They lie. Critical social justice warriors, when caught with their pants down and their finger up their own bum, will lie. Right? It's what they do. What these people do. They lie. So you've got to assume that everybody that's involved in this EDI or die boondoggle, right? This nonsense about equity and anybody that's involved in that, anybody that is asking you to get involved, anybody that is saying something should happen, anybody who purports to be representing somebody, whether you're in a business, a public organisation or a third sector charity, you must make the assumption, whether true or not, that they are a liar, deceitful, and they will betray you. They will throw you under the bus in the name of this. It's not that there might be a climate of fear. There is a climate of fear. We just need to turn it around so they're the ones that do the fearing. Every person involved, you cannot trust. They are a collectivist, and they will throw the individual under the bus to protect the collective. Do we get that, folks? The Trust has been given until the 5th of May, right? They've got to conduct more searches. They've got to provide a new response. We're going to see what's going to happen next. I'd like to see him in court, personally. I'd like to see him get hammered. Then a spokesman for the Trust said, after denying they had it, "We have noted the ICO's recent decision and are proactively working towards supplying the relevant data before the deadline." One may smile and still be a villain. Folks, we are getting to the point now where we're going to have to wake up and smell the coffee. There's no middle ground with these people. None. There's no both sides in it. There's no meeting in the middle. There's no nice little reconciliation on the lawn with cucumber sandwiches and a cup of tea. We have to identify the critical social justice nut jobs. We have to find out where they are in organisations, and we have to remove them. And the organisations are going to need to put aside a war chest to pay them off in case they win in court. And then you've got to start understanding how you can interview for culture. Because you can interview for culture, and in doing so, if that person doesn't fit your culture, that's a perfectly valid reason not to take them. Doesn't matter about anything else. So, honest to God, I suggest that we wake up and smell the coffee. It's time to stop messing about. We know the NHS is completely screwed. We know that the vast majority of other public sector organisations are involved in this. Schools certainly are. Small to medium businesses are currently not in large amounts, but there's a group in Manchester that are trying to make that happen. And so small to medium businesses are going to have to wake up very quickly and make sure that they do not give these people any time whatsoever. Don't even talk to them. There's no reason for them to talk to you, and there's no reason for you to talk to them. Just ignore them and try to understand why you need to ignore them. Perhaps I should do something for small to medium business owners. I don't know. They're hard to get to. They never want to listen to anything anyway. Funny bunch, us businessmen. Anyway, you go and have a good day, because, I think the Tavistock's about to get his bottom spanked by the Information Commission officer. And I'll buy a ticket to that. Aha! It's going to come, you know. You can't do the critical social justice, let them eat cake for much longer, because the guillotine will out. See you later. It's all a bit... The Scallop Pimpernel. I'll see you later, folks. It's just glorious. Bye.